Can you explain your role in Rage?
Yeah, so I play the role of Courtney Evans, who is Alex's wife and Coltan's mum.
And how did you hear about Rage and what attracted you to the project?
So I actually saw a casting call for Rage on social media, and the thing that attracted me to it most was probably the fact that this kind of thing, you know, domestic abuse, drug and alcohol abuse, it happens a lot more often than I think we are aware of, and the thing that attracted to me was, can we do that one again? I'm just rambling.
That's fine.
I'm rambling.
Yeah, you could just
keep going.
Yeah.
Go again.
Yeah.
So I actually saw the. What did I say?
It's alright. I'll just keep it rolling. So it's alright.
Bullet powers. Okay. So I actually saw a casting call for Rage on social media, and what attracted me to it the most was the fact that this sort of thing happens behind closed doors more often than we're aware. Domestic abuse, particularly that which comes from drug and alcohol abuse, it's a horrific thing, you know, and it literally tears families apart. And I think having a chance to be a part of a story that shines a bit of light on that is really important to me.
And what scene in the movie do you think the audience would be shocked at the most?
I would definitely say it's going to be the scene later on in the film when the police come to the house. I won't give away too many spoilers. The police will come to the house and realise the full extent of Alex's breakdown that he has, and you know how that actually goes for his wife and his kid.
Can you explain just a little bit more about your character?
Yeah, so I think Courtney is a loving wife and mother. I think she cares a lot about her family. I also think that she is quite a strong character. I think that despite what she puts up with as far as Alex's behaviour, I think she never truly believes that he would ever hurt her, which is why at various points through the film I think she's got a little bit of a spark about her, and she kind of doesn't take his crap. But you know, these things happen, and this night is just, he takes it too far, and it has dire consequences for her.
And thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Can you explain your role in Rage?
Yeah, I play Coltan, who is the son in the movie who does eventually die by his dad, who does kill him. And I think I personally like playing the role as Coltan because it's playing a kid, and I'm a kid. So I just like the role of playing in movies because I think it's quite cool.
And how did you hear about Rage? How did you get involved?
I was told when my dad told me that him and his friend were making a movie and that I could be in it if I wanted to, and I said, yeah, that'd be cool. And then from there it's on, I was in the movie. I thought it was quite cool.
And do you think the creators are doing a good job?
Yeah, I think the way that they've put it together and all the things that they've been able to get, props and everything like that, I think it's good, and I think they've done a really good job.
What do you think will be the hardest part for you personally to film?
Probably when I'm dying, because I need to properly scream and cry and play proper emotion, so I think that would be the hardest part to film.
And how do you think the audience will react to that?
I think it's one of the sort of movies that put you on the edge of your seat, like you're wanting to know what happens next, and I think I think the audience will enjoy it.
Okay, thanks very much for talking to us. So, can you explain your role in Rage?
So my role in Rage is the babysitter, so I'm Courtney's friend, and I'm watching the wee one whilst they're out on their date. and then I'm the character who becomes concerned when I see, you know, Alex come home in a state, and I'm the one that phones the police as well.
And how did you hear about Rage and how did you get involved?
So I found out about Rage through some acting pages on Facebook. Gary did a casting, which I then applied for, sent in, you know, spotlight and things, sent some emails back and forth, and then yeah, I got the role.
What scene in the movie do you think the audience would be most shocked about?
I think the scene that the audience will be the most shocked about is when Gary, when his character Alex comes home and begins to shout at his son Coltan. I think the anger that he shows the little boy is the worst part, for sure.
What should the audience expect from watching Rage?
To feel uncomfortable, probably. Yeah, it's a really unsettling feeling, especially when there's a child involved. They're so innocent, and yeah, so I think that's definitely uncomfortable to watch.
And how far do you think the film will go?
I have faith that it'll go all the way. I think Gary has got great ambition and determination. He's got a really great cast and crew, and he's really focused on marketing. So I think it'll do really well. Fingers crossed.
Thanks very much for talking to us.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Okay. So can you explain your role in Rage?
My role in Rage is to record the on-location sound, hence this here. So my role is basically to provide the sound, so things like the dialogue, ambience from like the pub scene that we did the other day. It was a case of recording like the background noise of the pub, just to make it sound authentic. And then when there's lines getting said, it was a case of getting as close to the microphone, keeping it out of range of camera to record what the actors were saying.
And how did you first get involved with sound?
Well, with sound, the whole filming project, I got involved basically through David PENMAN. I've worked with David before. Me and David have worked together quite a lot, both on film and actually on paid sort of commercial shoots. So he first asked me if I wanted to be production manager, which I just felt I never had the proper skill set for to do the job how it needed done. So he then said he needed someone from sound, so I'm basically a one-man band, so I can do sound, I can do camera, I can do lighting, I can do just about anything, but I'm happy doing a mixture of stuff. He needed me for sound, so that's what I got involved with.
And during filming of Rage, have you had any awkward positions with sound?
Always with sound, because a lot of time you've got to hold the boom pole up high, so you're holding it up, so over periods of time, if it's a long take, it can get very sore in your arms. I also had my COVID injection just before the first shooting day, so that didn't help with holding the arms up. But it's part of the job, and you get used to it. Yeah.
And do you think the creators are doing a good job?
Yeah, we're doing a good job. You know, we've got a schedule and try and keep to it best as possible, but it's filming and there's always things that go wrong. Sometimes it's actors mixing up their lines, other times it can be technical things with equipment, you know, your battery will run out in your recorder or the camera, you then have to change your battery and then redo the scene, you know, so you get used to it working on a film set.
And what's been your most enjoyable part to film at the moment?
Well, at the moment, just at all, like I said, I'm doing sound, so it's not like I'm doing camera, you know, so just I enjoy like meeting new people, networking, working with people I've not met before, you know, it's in this industry it's all about networking, it's all about meeting new people and working with new people, you know, so that's probably what I've enjoyed the most, just working with new people, just getting out after COVID as well, you know, so this is the first time I've been on a film set since the first lockdown.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for talking with us.
No problem.
Hi, can you explain your role in Rage?
Yes, so I am a runner on set, so I'm basically doing anything and everything that the company production cast needs. But throughout the 3 days of filming so far, I've been clapper loader. That has been a bit more of my specific job, which has been fun.
And what attracted you to working on Rage?
I think the concept, I always like working on things that are important, that are kind of talking about general important topics in day-to-day life, and domestic violence sadly is on the rise as well because of COVID, so I think it's an important thing to see, especially that in this case it was one instance really that set him off the rails, so it's good to know how, not good to know, but good for people to see how drugs and alcohol can just switch you like that.
And do you think the locations used for that were suitable?
Yeah, I think they were really good. I think it was good, Gary being able to get the pub in his hometown was really nice of them, and then we're in a police station today, which is cool. I've never been kind of in a studio in a set like this, so it's going to be fun to film rather than a house kind of general setting that you get.
And has there been any challenging bits for you?
I would say sometimes just before scenes, that's when we locate the props. So I think just having been a bit more prepared with that going into it rather than right before like the drug scene, having to find a drug bag, and then having to film night scenes in daylight, so having to figure out how to block out the daylight. Like, it would have been easier obviously and might have flowed a bit better if that had been organised before rather than on the day.
And lastly, have you enjoyed being a part of it?
Yes, I really have, and I've met some great people too.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, can you explain your role on Rage?
Yeah, I'm the director, producer and writer of Rage.
Where did the idea for Rage come from?
It came from Gary to start off with. He got in contact with me and asked me to help him write it. So yeah, we both started writing the script in 2018, I think it was. So yeah, it's been a long time in the making.
And how did you both decide to work together on it?
He just asked me to help him write it. So yeah, I just we've both been working on it, and that just changing it for the last 3 years. So.
And what's next for Rage? How far would you like that to go?
I think after we've filmed Rage, I'm going to move on to something else. I think we can't really do much more with Rage than what's already happening. The story sort of ends, so yeah, I've got a lot of other things in the pipeline. So.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you explain your role in Rage?
Yeah, I'm ALFIE Marsh. I am the cinematographer behind Rage.
And what attracted you to work on Rage?
I think when Gary was telling me about the story and about obviously the message that we're trying to convey through Rage about domestic violence and kind of what goes on behind closed doors, and thinking about trying to get behind him and try and get in his head and see how he's seeing and try and help convey that and the message was the whole reason why we got behind this.
Do you think the locations help with telling the story?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like the bar on the first day was class, it looked really good, and then the house yesterday was quite nice because especially the bathroom where there was the kind of argument scene was very tight, very small bathroom, very tight spaces, and obviously that's going to come across in the film, that being small and intimate and intense.
Has there been any scenes that have been really challenging to film?
I'd say the most challenging scene to film was probably the bar scene, the ending bar scene we were trying to get when the bartender was trying to throw Alex out because we had bar guests making noise, and then we had a big tracking shot going through the whole of the scene, and then out to a pretty precise shot of Gary's face, of Alex's face. Yeah. Do you want me to do that again, or is that okay?
That's right.
Yeah, cool.
And what's been your favourite part so far?
My favourite part? Yeah, my favourite part of the part. favourite part of yesterday. I think yesterday was my favourite. I'm trying to think of which part of yesterday. I think we are like. Oh yeah, cool. So can you say it again, please?
Yeah. What did I say again? What was your favourite part?
I think my favourite part to film was probably when once Gary shouted at Colton when he starts to take drugs, and as you start to see the rage building up in Alex's face, Gary was getting properly into that role, and you could see the emotion in his eyes, and I think the push-in shot onto his eyes was a lot of fun to kind of show that emotion, and I felt like I was with Alex in that, which is probably my favourite, definitely my favourite part so far.
Awesome, thank you very much.
No worries, man, no worries.
Hi, can you explain your role in Rage?
Hi, my name is Barry and I'll be playing Officer Smith in Rage. I will be working with Sergeant King and Officer Lee, tackling the scum Alex Evans.
And what's your favourite part of the role so far?
I'd probably enjoy being in the police station, taking him out of his cell, interviewing him, making him sweat, making him work to get answers out of him.
Has the police station been your favourite location?
It has been, yeah, because it's definitely, like it looks the part, feels the part, and you can just work off that, which is ideal in any situation.
What scene in the movie do you think the audience would be shocked at the most?
Tough one. I'd probably say maybe the death of his son. Going that extra mile, it's, if he's killed his girlfriend and then his son, it's, not just one but the other, completely wiping out his family, which is a big thing.
Do you think the creators are doing a good job?
Yeah, they're doing a good job, yeah. It's good to meet them and it's good to spend time with them and, try and work off the script as well as what they're thinking as well, which is always a thing to think about, different point of view.
What should the audience expect when watching Rage?
What do they expect? They should expect a very real life situation, which is what we're trying to do for the film, and it is generally true to a lot of events, which is part of the film's concept. It's deaths, drugs, alcohol, and obviously being involved with the police. It's definitely kind of life situation which happens.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, no worries, man. Thank you.
Rolling now. Hi, can you explain your role in Rage?
Yes. I play Sergeant King, who leads two officers through the scenarios that happen throughout the film.
And what's been your favourite part so far of that role?
Being in the police car with the sirens on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used a GoPro. Am I allowed to say that? Okay. We used a GoPro at the front, so that was pretty cool. I mean, I can't drive, so it's probably cooler for me than anyone else.
And are you feeling the character? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling it.
Have the locations helped with becoming the character?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this one will today.
Yeah.
Being in what feels like an actual interrogation room and police cell. I'm sure that will just skyrocket Sergeant King.
What scene in the movie do you think the audience is going to be most shocked about?
Ooh. I'm not allowed to say anything, am I? Something happens in the film that's really shocking.
You could say
someone in the film is impacted, is that a word, by the actions of someone else, and it is quite horrific. I'd be shocked.
And what should the audience expect when watching?
Shock. To be shocked. Right?
Just shock, yeah, that's fine.
Shock and horror.
Lastly, do you think the creators are doing a good job?
Yeah. I'm having fun. There's lots of chocolate biscuits.
Awesome, thank you.
Craig, please explain your role within Rage.
I'm doing behind the scenes of Rage. Means getting in all the tight spaces behind the pew and getting them filming the actual like action and the creation of the film, and getting all the behind the scenes of setting up, and including the interviews which you're watching now.
Cool. And what was the hardest part about Rage?
The hardest part was probably the setting up bit and getting all organised. There was a lot of waiting around, but I had to be done to make this possible, and to create something so big and great. You have to take the time to do that. So.
Cool. And if you were to watch one scene getting filmed within Rage, and it was the hardest scene to watch be filmed, what was that scene?
If I had to watch it.
If you on set, as the behind the scenes videographer, watching a scene be acted out, what was the hardest scene to watch from your point of view? Like, was there a wow factor in any of the scenes, or was there like shit, or?
Probably you becoming the character, this evil person that a lot of people could become.
Okay, and is that like in the bar scenes or what?
Yeah, just throughout all of it. From the beginning, you see you being this nice person, and it just gets worse and worse. And of course the horrible ending.
Yeah. Well, we're getting there. So where would you like to see Rage go?
I'm really hoping it's gonna go very big actually. I'm hoping there could be another extra add-on bit at some point, possibly a prequel or a sequel. But that'll be up to Gary and David for that, but I hope it does do very well.
Cool. And what would the sequel be?
I have absolutely no clue what the sequel could be.
Could it be the story of the babysitter? What happens to the babysitter?
Exactly, yeah, it could be. It could be what happens to the babysitter. It could be what happens to the babysitter. It could be following the story of Alex's wife instead, of his partner. It could follow him before the drugs and alcohol and how he got into that in the first place.
Do you think Alex survived?
No.
No? Okay. Cool. Cool. Is there anything that you would like to say to the people watching this?
This film is obviously like a serious message, as well as like we've enjoyed making it. It is a very serious film, and this does go on in real life situations. So it's mainly just making people aware of this and to get help in that and make sure that this situation doesn't arise to this.
And of course, like at the end of the Rage movie, people that are watching, there is a link that will pop up on the screen for anyone that was affected by any of the situations that happened throughout Rage. So it's a resources section that is going to be on our website, ragemovie.co.uk. Is there anything you want to add in before we stop?
I think I'm good.
Cool, no worries.
Thank you. Can you explain your role in Rage?
I am Officer Lee, and I arrive at the scene with Officer Smith and Officer King, Sergeant King, and I attend the body at the door, and Officer King and Officer Smith, they go upstairs and detain Alex.
What scene in the movie do you think the audience would be shocked at the most?
I think the most distressing scene in the movie is young boy upstairs, deceased, lying on the bedroom floor.
What should the audience expect when watching Rage?
When watching Rage, they should alert themselves to the fact that no one ever tells this story in real life, and it's imperative that we get the message out there so we can help people.
Thank you very much. Hi, can you tell us your role in Rage?
Yes, I am the co-creator, producer, and also I play the role of Alex in Rage.
And can you tell us a bit about that character?
Alex is a very bipolar husband and dad to Coltan and his wife Courtney. He goes through a massive rage of drugs, alcohol, and just mixes everything together. So he's a very strange person that kicks off.
Where did the idea for Rage come from?
Rage came from, I mean, to be honest, like, I've always kind of had a inspiration for creating like real raising awareness, like kind of strong pieces of what's the word I'm looking for? Just strong pieces of, what's the word? Content, sorry, there we go, content. And you know, Rage is definitely one, like talking about drugs and alcohol. You know, I've never really done anything like that, and I just thought it would be interesting to do. And of course, like we're raising awareness at the same time, because most movies out there, they don't actually. Usually, like you'll be seeing like a couple of that sitting on a sofa. They'll be watching TV, then suddenly an argument kicks off next door, but you don't actually know what happens. Then emergency services pull up and they go in, and you know, like we still don't know what actually happened behind that closed door. So what we're doing is we're showing the world what actually happens in that house, and not what like around, you know. So whatever happens in that house is what Rage conceives, basically.
And when did you start creating it?
Rage, we started creating what, three and a half years ago, so it's been quite a while now. So, and now obviously due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we thought it would be a fantastic opportunity for us to be able to deliver something like this to the world, as we know that 17.5% increase in domestic violence cases throughout the whole entire world is due to the cause of the pandemic and being isolated within the household and stuff like that. It's been very difficult for families, so this would be perfect for that.
What has been the most difficult part of the film?
Difficult part of the film, I think just everything, to be honest. Obviously my role as the producer, the co-creator, making sure that everything is running very smoothly, and also me obviously as the main character, and trying to go through all these arrays of emotions and stuff like that. Trying to put that all together it's been very difficult, but we got there. As you guys are watching the behind the scenes right now, we got there, we did it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the movie also.
What is next for Rage, and how far would you like it to go?
Rage, I would like to, of course, like people that helped us on Indiegogo, which I do have to say thank you to everyone that did help us with that. It meant a huge lot to us. We really do appreciate it. Obviously, those that got paid for physical DVDs and stuff like that, that's what we've done. So we've got a minimum amount of DVDs that we've released. And we plan on putting that into film festivals, try and see if we can get a bit of a backup from that, and then in about 7 to 8 months time we'll start branching out onto streaming services so we can get the word out.
Lastly, what is the main message behind Rage?
Main message behind Rage is to never mix drugs with alcohol, because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.